What is going on, everybody? This is Jackson from JD Sports Zone, and today we have a brand new episode. Not a regular interview. We have the 21st Century Atlanta Athlete Draft. I'm back with my guy, Jack Dobbins from the Playoff Push podcast, and a very special guest returning to the podcast, Mr. Jay Jackson, former Atlanta Brave. We had to get an Atlanta Brave on for this episode. Jay, Jack, how are your days going? And thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this.
Oh no, it's great, man. I appreciate you for having me. Like I said, just got off a plane not too long ago, so I'm glad I'm here. And then getting ready to get on some more planes following this. So, just letting everybody know, follow. Got some special things coming for the Instagram, the Twitter. I'm actually gonna probably start a TikTok for the specific thing that I'm doing. So follow along, see, support, join the Smile Zone, all the baseball players out there for sure. Make sure you join us. We're relaunching some special things coming up in June. So be on the lookout. But yeah, special things coming up. So excited.
I could not agree more with Jay there. Totally go check out the Smile Zone if you haven't already. But I'm so happy to be back here for yet another draft after my 80% to 20% W in the New York draft to get smoked. But anyway, we're back for Atlanta. I'm going to see if I can run it back.
Hey, we have another guest. We have another, pod in the mix. So we'll see what happens. But I want to go with my first pick. We got me at the one, Jay at the two, Jack at the three, and I'm gonna go with probably one of the greatest Atlanta Braves players of all time, Chipper Jones, with the number one pick. I feel like that has to be the solidified number one pick for the 21st century.
He was my number two.
Hmm.
So my number one is still on the board.
The question is, are we going all athletes from every team in Atlanta, right?
Yes.
So with my first pick, I'm gonna go with one of the goats of all goats who played for the Braves and the Falcons,
Oh.
Deion Sanders.
Wow.
Prime.
Alrighty.
That's definitely. I didn't expect him at the two. Oh man, that might have
Wow.
solidified a win there. That might have solidified a win there, Jack.
Man, that I'm gonna be so real with you. I just totally looked right over him. I like did not even consider the pick. So wow.
Yeah.
Hey,
See,
we'll
I'm
take
so
it. We'll
hot.
take it. But I do not know how my guy fell to me at three. With the number three overall pick, give me Julio Jones,
Mhm.
135 games played, over 12,000 yards to his name, two-time All-Pro, seven-time Pro Bowler, all 2010s team, one of the greatest Falcons, actually the greatest Falcon of all time, even though Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie said he stunk.
Okay.
Dominic calls out his butt a little bit from time to time, so I can't trust everything he says. But he's a great cornerback. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. When I had him on the show, I did a blind ranking game with him and he put Julio at the bottom and he was like, he really wasn't that good.
You can't trust the man on that.
Hey, I
Alrighty.
don't trust Giants fans or I'm sorry, Jack, or Giants players.
Wow.
So that's just a separate thing. But Jack,
Wow.
who's your second pick for this 21st century draft?
I get back to back. So with the fourth overall pick, I'm heading over to the MLB and I will be taking Freddie Freeman with the fourth overall pick. He had 66% of his WAR after the year 2000, which is, a ton of stuff. Oh, actually, I mixed the stats up. Haha, look at that. But Freddie Freeman was a dog. I mean, he now is with the Dodgers, of course, but he had a great tenure in Atlanta. He had 43 WAR while in a Braves uniform, 271 homers, 941 RBI, OPS plus of 138. He had his MVP in Atlanta, won a World Series. He's one of the best that gets in the Braves uniform.
Jay, you're next up.
I'm going to the MLB again since I went football and baseball the first pick. My second pick is going to be one of my former teammates, actually, but he wasn't my teammate with the Braves, which is funny enough.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with Craig Kimbrell for my second pick.
He was next on my board. He was my number four slot, so that's a
So
great pick. That's a
that's my
great pick.
next pick. Like one of my former teammates, great guy, an Atlanta Braves legend. Watched him in college really growing up and then got to be a teammate of him. Just the stare, the work ethic, just seeing how everything he did was trying to be at the top of the game, and he was for such a long span as a closer. Like I tell people, as a pitcher, normally you only get like 3 to 4 year run of like a solid window of like having really good stats. Like you see it through, and you have to make the best of those. And hopefully, once people figure you out, you can still survive for another, 4 to 5 to 10 years. But there's a certain select few that you get to have a ride for 7 to 10 years like he did, and it's unbelievable. So that's definitely my second pick.
Yeah, he led the league in saves 4 years in a row right out the gate. Top 10 in Cy Young 4 years in a row. A 268 ERA plus in Atlanta. Dude was a demon.
100%.
And you look at the group of closers from that era. You had Kenley Jansen, Craig Kimbrell, Aroldis Chapman. Those were the three guys that everybody hated to face in the ninth inning. But I want to kind of shift over to my next pick. Not in the MLB. I'm surprised he fell to me. 2016, 2015 NFL MVP.
Oh boy.
Everybody hates on this guy just because he didn't get a ring. But one of the greatest NFL quarterbacks during the 2000s era. Give me Matt Ryan.
I
Give me
see
Matt.
you. I see you working. I see you working. Matt was on. He was on my radar. He wasn't. He wasn't in my top 4 or 5, but he was in there. I get it though. I get why. But yeah.
Yeah, he was slotted nicely in my 7.
Yeah.
I would have taken him if he came around, but I was expecting someone to jump on him earlier, so I'm not really too mad at it. Good pick
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Not
I'm
bad
good.
about it.
Now, this one is a little tougher for me. I'm going to go between two guys, and people might say this is a little bit early for this guy, but he did have a 40-70 season with the Atlanta Braves. I wish he has stayed healthy. Ronald Acuna Jr. I think it might be a little too early for him, but I'm going to go with Acuna.
No, he was
No,
my next pick.
I was about to say that's not too early for Ronald. Like I can see why 100% leaves another former teammate. Crazy how that works, but like yeah, no. Ronald's great, man. The way he's dominated the league over the past few years, and even with the injuries, you see when he comes back every time, it's like either comes back the same or better. So it's interesting to see, especially with how the Braves are playing this year, how if he stays healthy, how far they go, because he's really the engine that like leads that team. Him and Strider are the engines that lead that team. So it's going to be interesting to see how far they go this year.
Yeah, I had him in the 5 slot. I mean, the rationale is he's 28 years old, already has his MVP, already is one of the greatest Atlanta Braves of all time. He's absolutely deserving of that pick.
No, 100%, 100%.
Now, Jay, who's your next pick?
My next pick. See, everybody's going like certain places, and I'm like, I want to throw a basketball player in there, right? So my basketball player pick, most people would go, honestly, with Joe Johnson on this, and I can see why. But I'm actually going to go with Al Horford as my pick.
Honestly, that really shocked me. Personally, I'm a big Boston Celtics fan, and I loved Al Horford on the Atlanta Hawks. 3-time, 4-time All-Star with the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, four time, but like he ran that team. They just didn't at that time. It wasn't like they were putting pieces around him that they really needed to, right? Like he was going through a good surge in his career. Again, basketball players, you only have a certain amount of time to like lead a team to a championship, and during his time that he had in Atlanta to do it.
Jay, you are going to hate me. I had him in my 17.
I respect it, but like I want to throw a basketball player in there early. So
hey, I'm not mad at all. I have a few Hawks on here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to keep some Hawks in there. I actually have a couple Dream in there. I have, I'm going all around the board just to make sure I'm touching every sport to make sure everybody's accounted for. I gotta show love to everybody because there's greats in every sport that has been in Atlanta, really. So you got to make sure that you're showing love to all of them.
I like it. I'm going right back to the Braves. Give me Andrew Jones with my 3rd overall pick. A member of the newest Hall of Fame class, had 71% of his career WAR after 2000 in Atlanta, 288 homers, 860 RBI, MVP runner-up, 7-time Gold Glover, all 5 of his All-Star games in that span. There's a reason he's in the Hall of Fame, man. When he was in Atlanta, he was one of the best on the planet.
Now, who's your back-to-back pick?
Now, this is where it gets tricky. I could make a lot of picks here, but obviously, if we look at the facts, the Braves are the best Atlanta team of the 21st century, and it's not even remotely close. So, with my next overall pick, I will be taking the man who has kept the lowest ERA since he came into the league. Give me Max Fried with my fourth overall pick. He
Okay.
was stellar in Atlanta, now on my Yankees. A 3.07 ERA in the A with a 1.40 ERA plus, two top five Cy Young finishes, one of them being a runner-up, two All-Star games, three Gold Gloves. I mean, he's just been doing it at such a consistent level for such a long time that he had to be picked at a pretty high spot.
I see. I see. I see. I see that pick. I see that pick. And I raise you John Smoltz.
He was next on my board, so I'm totally fine with that.
Like, I don't know why all mine are pitchers, but like we're rolling with it. But it's awesome. But like the pitchers that they had on those teams in the '90s, were, I mean, all of them will probably be taken at some point through this draft, I'm guessing. But for me, the way Smoltz was starter reliever, kind of mimicked myself, the career he had with the Braves, and just the runs that he had in both as a reliever and a starter is so commendable, and just the career he had. So I definitely want to pick him as high as I can. And I've gotten to meet him a couple times, and he's great. Like that whole team's great at like a golf game too. So I'm trying to get to that level at some point.
Now I'm looking at my next pick. Right now, I have two Braves players and I have a Falcons player. And I want to shift over to the NBA side of things. And everybody gives this guy so much flack just because he didn't really make deep runs with the Atlanta Hawks during his tenure. Now a Washington Wizard, four-time NBA All-Star with the Atlanta Hawks. I know Jack Dobbins really wanted this guy next. Give me Trae Young. Trae Young is going to be Mr. Longpaw, great facilitator for the Atlanta Hawks. Give me Trae Young. Now, this next guy, I might not get the popular vote with this one. One of the generational players as an NFL quarterback transformed the game as a pure rushing quarterback. Michael Vick. I'm going to give Michael Vick my next pick.
Vic was on my board for my next pick, so I give you that. That's a great pick. Change game completely from the quarterback position at this time. So
Yeah.
I respect that. And like I said, I'm going to touch on every sport for the most part, right? So my next pick is from the Atlanta Dream,
Ooh.
Miss Angel McCourty.
Wow.
Obviously queen of the Dream franchise, you know what I mean? So led the league in scoring. So, you know, gotta throw a pick in there that's a wrench in there, just but like she's gotta be, if she's the number one pick for the Dream, she's gotta be in the top 5, top 10 of the Atlanta franchises, because as all these picks that we're showing right now are pretty much number 1 or 2 picks in their respective draft classes for the team. So, you know, gotta keep it rolling.
Yeah, if you look at her accolades from when she entered the league until 2016, it's genuinely unbelievable on a per year basis. You look at it and it's like almost running off the page.
It's crazy. So yeah, that's my next pick. So yeah, Jack, who you got? I see.
I really like that pick. I really do. But with my next pick, I am heading right back to the Atlanta Falcons. Give me Roddy White. I think it's pretty crazy he's still on the board. But he had 6 straight 1,100-yard seasons, was a first-team All-Pro, 4-time Pro Bowler, over 10,000 career yards, 63 touchdowns. I mean, you know, he was basically Julio Jones light, so now I get both of them.
Now here's your back-to-back pick.
And I will finally go with my NBA pick off of the board. I will take Joe Johnson right now. It was about time for him to go off the board. 20 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, 5.2 assists per game. He was all NBA. He made 6 All-Star teams. I mean, he had to go off the board pretty soon with Trae Young and Al Horford already taken earlier. He held down the Atlanta team for a good while.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one, because I was either going there. I was really gonna go there next, probably, or my next pick, now that you took him, is going to be another guy who played for the Falcons and the Braves, I believe, Mr. Brian Jordan.
That's
Yeah.
actually that is a really good pick. And I think, he's going to get the versatile popularity vote when it comes to the multi-sport athletes. Brian Jordan, also a St. Louis Cardinals great of all time. I want to throw that out.
100%. 100%.
So, yeah.
But played ball so well, like on both sides of the field. Also, football, like you look at his numbers in football.
Mhm.
It's crazy what those guys were doing back in the day. So I just definitely want to show love to both those guys. Just being a multi-sport athlete in my day too, making sure that I told you I'm trying to hit everybody possible.
I also believe he was a manager for the Swingman Classic last year, if I'm not mistaken. So he's still staying in the game. He's still helping the youth level up in baseball. So shout out to Brian Jordan.
Yeah, for sure. Got to tag him in this for sure. Got to tag everybody in this. It's gonna be awesome.
Now, I'm going to be very careful with my next pick just because it's not like we're slim pickings here in the late rounds, but I'm looking through my list right now, and some guys I didn't expect you to take Roddy White at that point. He was going to be my next pick, so that kind of crosses me out. But I want to go with one of the baby Braves for the Atlanta Braves, one of the greatest catchers during the 2000s era.
Yep.
Shifted over to the Yankees afterwards. Let's go with Mr. Brian McCann. Yeah, phenomenal backstop.
That's what I was looking at.
He was my next open slot.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's a great pick. He's one of the epitomes of just a slugging catcher who just goes up to the plate, mashes as hard as he can.
Now I'm looking at my next pick, and we haven't gone this sport yet. And Jay kind of opened my eyes when he picked somebody from the Atlanta Dream. I want to shift over to soccer. I'm gonna go with the ATL United. I want to go with Joseph Martinez. Now I see him on my list. Personally, I'm not a big soccer fan, but it says that he had one of the greatest peaks in MLS of all time, specifically for the Atlanta United FC. So for my soccer fans out there, if they're watching. Give me Joseph Martinez.
I'm not going to pretend I have no idea his significance, but I will let you have the pick, and I will say that I hope it's a good pick.
No, it's a good pick. It's a good pick. I saw a little bit of it too when I was doing some research on some things, and I saw him on there too. And so, yeah, that's a really good pick. He actually won. He won the MLS MVP, so he's got some accolades behind him too. So make sure Okay, so it's my turn for my next pick. I don't know if I want to go NBA or MLB this time. Actually, my pick is going to have to be none other than I'm going to go with Mr. Tony Gonzalez.
I was expecting, just because of his short tenure with the Atlanta Falcons, I think he was going to fall to one of the last rounds, and that's going to be a big popularity vote ever since coming from the Chiefs. So yeah, I love it.
I got a nice little squad performing over here. So like I said, I'm trying to get everybody involved.
Man, I really wanted that pick.
That nobody's thinking about too. I loved it.
Mm-hmm. Jack.
Alrighty. What pick is this? Number 7 for me?
7 and 8. So the last.
Oh man.
Unless we have some extra time, if you want to go to if you guys want to go to 10, because I know I said 8 each.
I mean, I would be down. It really doesn't matter to me either or. But regardless, my next pick remains with the Atlanta Braves as always. This guy, I thought he was an amazing player when he was in Oakland. And then he comes over to the Braves and somehow gets better. And I will take Matt Olson with my 7th overall pick.
Oh, I see. Love it. Love it. That's a great pick. That is a solid pick.
People forget he led the league in homers and RBI in 23. I'm just saying.
And right now, he is the lead candidate for the NL MVP, unless Jordan Walker somehow boosts his stats. I believe in Jordan Walker pushing up there, but I love Matt Olson. Great transition from Freddie Freeman to Matt Olson. Everybody was worried about the transition there, but has done nicely in Atlanta. So
he's filled the shoes completely. It wasn't any drop off whatsoever. Like I said, AA's done a fantastic job getting those guys over there and getting them together. And I've said it plenty of times. Everybody was asking me about. I mean, I pretty much predicted the Braves were going to be what they were last year, and I said it kind of was going to happen this year too, because they can take a year or two off, really, with the core that they have, and 2 or 3 guys can get hurt, and then they can kind of be like, okay, well, we're all together for the next 6 years anyway. Let's make sure everybody's getting healthy. Work on your things that you need to work on. We're not possibly going to make the playoffs or anything this year. And then next year, when everybody's healthy, we know what we need to do to be better. And now we're better.
Exactly. And I believe I go again, and I'm hoping that this guy hasn't been taken. I find it very odd that I still have him marked as open for now. But when we mentioned that John Smoltz era earlier, there was one big pitcher that was left out of that, and that was Greg Maddux. Is he still on the board?
He's still on the board.
Okay, to make sure I didn't miss anything, because I'm like, wow, Maddux falling to the final pick is ridiculous.
Hey, I think we're just talking strictly 2000s. He still had a great career.
Oh, he was amazing.
Yeah.
I have his 2000s numbers up. I mean, he had a 139 ERA plus, top 3 Cy Young, 3-time Gold Glover, made an All-Star game, still had 17 WAR. He was still really good.
Mm-hmm.
No, he was great. I would have for sure picked him earlier if I didn't go with some of the guys and gals that I did. So that was my whole thing. I wanted to make sure that I was spreading it out. I didn't want to go too Braves heavy, because if you realistically, you could do this whole draft on just Braves teams throughout.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to make sure I was all over the place, making sure I was touching all the sports and giving the fans and the people what they want, and also knowing that, you know, I've watched a bunch of these sports too, and I've seen a few of these people play. So definitely want to show them some love on that front as well. So I guess it's my turn now. And since you went Greg Maddux, I got to go with this other teammate that was there, which is Tom Glavine.
Mm-hmm.
On the board as well. Glavine's still on the board too. So got to go Glavine. All my guys are pitchers for my draft so far, but Glavine, like that whole pitching staff, just the team in general. But you could tell that pitching staff was kind of like the lifeblood of those teams. Like they had fun, they were together, they showed a good camaraderie, and they were always trying to compete against each other, which led into all the other players on the team competing against each other. And it made that team so much better. That's why, I mean, how many NL East championships did they win in that span? It was crazy. It's 8?
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
They only won 1 ring or 2 rings, 1 ring. But like they went to like 6 and then had won like 8 in a row. The stretch was almost like the stretch that they had recently when I was there. Like that was crazy too.
Mm-hmm.
So
now I do want to stick with the Atlanta Braves route, and I do want to go a former Jay Jackson teammate. This guy is a 3-time All-Star, 2-time Silver Slugger, 2021 World Series champion, the second baseman for the Atlanta Braves. We're doing really solid this year. I wish he'd bring up his production a little bit, but Ozzie Albies. I'm gonna go with Ozzie Albies there for my next pick. Yeah, I want to go Ozzie Albies there. Now I kind of want to shift over. Ooh, this is a really tough pick because I'm looking up and down. This guy was a 4-time All-Star, and I'm gonna go back over to the Atlanta Hawks. Give me 4-time All-Star, 06, 07 All-Rookie team, Paul Millsap.
Ooh, I like you there.
Yeah,
I like you there.
Love it.
I like
so we're going to 10. We're going to 10 now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to
10. Perfect.
That's money because I'm staying with the Atlanta Hawks as well.
Mm.
And I'm going one of the purest sharpshooters in all the land. By far. He was one of the he should have been a Splash Brother before the Splash Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Came off screens better than anybody I've ever seen in my life. Like, you know what I mean? But Mr. Kyle Korver.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going Kyle Korver with my pick because that man was dangerous behind the arc. Never seen somebody like at that time before you saw Steph and Clay. But like Kyle was the epitome of a sharpshooter. So gotta go Kyle.
Yeah, I mean he's one of the best shooters ever.
He doesn't get as much credit as he should, but in basketball circles he does. So it's kind of weird to see that, but it's respect.
Yeah, Jack Dobbins has compared himself to Kyle Korver a time or two. So
Yeah, back
yeah,
in middle school, maybe. My three ball is gone now.
absolutely insane. All right, Jack, who's your final two picks, right?
I'm ready. I'm ready for
Okay.
them. With my ninth overall pick, I will go with the man who locked down the middle of Atlanta's defensive line for 10 years, including their Super Bowl season. Give me Grady Jarrett.
I'm surprised he fell this late because everybody forgets about Grady Jarrett outside of like the Super Bowl season. Yeah, no, great pick. Definitely anchored that Falcons defense during the late 2010s. I'm surprised he fell. Yeah.
Yeah, I had him. I wanted to pick him, and I'm happy he got this far. 6 foot. Also, how is 6'1", 294 pounds possible? Can we just talk about that? Like, how is that a thing?
Yeah,
Mhm.
crazy.
Bro has to
Yeah.
be like shredded out his mind. Like, absolutely just. Oh my gosh.
Just
And I'm
moving
ready for
now.
my final pick, which is something that, you know, I bet none of you were expecting me to go this route. This is the first non-professional player I'm going to take. And I am going the college route here. I'm
Mm.
going with the all-time scoring leader at Georgia State in Atlanta. He was a first-round draft pick by the Boston Celtics in 2015. Didn't quite pan out in the NBA. However, give me RJ Hunter. He
Yeah.
led the Sun Belt in scoring his junior season before getting drafted in the first round. Led the Sun Belt in free throw shooting 2 years in a row. Led the Sun Belt in minutes per game his junior season. I figured we needed a college guy in here.
If we're going college, I can slide one college guy in there. If we're gonna go one for the last pick college, I got one off the top of my head already.
Ooh.
And he's a baseball player. If we're gonna go college for the last pick, if that's what we want to do, if it's gonna be that, my pick is going to be somebody who I've faced a time or two, had a solid MLB career, played at the University of Georgia, none other than Gordon Beckham.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
He also a former Atlanta Brave, great second baseman for the Chicago White Sox during the early 2010s, and went over to the Atlanta Braves. Probably one of the greatest walk-up songs as well of all time. So
I
yeah, I
saw
hope.
him. I saw him when we played against Georgia in college. They had like the Grand Slam inning or whatever, where somebody wins a ton of money for hitting a Grand Slam in that inning. Lo and behold, our pitcher decides to give up a Grand Slam this inning to Gordon Beckham.
Man,
And this ball was hit at this time. There wasn't like we had the launch angles and stuff, but this ball literally was hit in the trees in like 3 seconds. This ball was hit so hard, so fast. And I just I was in, I think, a left field, and I was just laughing. I was like, Jesus Christ, like, this is hilarious.
Gordon also went to high school in Atlanta. So he was
mm.
like smack dab in the middle for high school. So shout out Gordon Beckham.
Yeah,
Hey,
for sure.
since we are allowed to throw a college player in there, I'm gonna go with this guy, and I'm only throwing in one college player. This guy was drafted second overall in 2007, one-time All-American, 2006 ACC Offensive Player of the Year, one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. Give me Megatron
I
Calvin
was about to say,
Johnson.
you and Calvin Johnson. Jesus. All right. That's a great one.
Yeah, I want to
But
throw in one of the greatest Georgia Tech players of all time. I know a lot of the people watching are Georgia Tech fans, so give me that there. And with Mr. Irrelevant in this Atlanta athlete draft for my final pick, this is a really tough one, but I'm also gonna go another. Yeah, I'm gonna go another former Jay
Is that
Jackson
pick
team.
11?
Pick 11. What do you mean?
Is that your 11th pick?
This is my 10th.
Okay.
Oh no, no. Calvin Johnson, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait. Yeah, never mind. Calvin Johnson was Mr. Irrelevant. You're right. I can't count. I can't count. But Calvin Johnson's gonna be my final pick. But yeah, if anybody wants to run through their teams, we have about 7 minutes left in this meeting. If anybody has it written down, I have mine written down, but let Jack, you want to start with yours?
Sure. Julio Jones, Freddie Freeman, Andrew Jones, Max Fried, Roddy White, Joe Johnson, Greg Maddux, Matt Olson, Grady Jarrett, and RJ Hunter. I just now realized that Chris Bosh played for Georgia Tech. Nice pick, Jack.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
write mine down, but I kind of know all mine. So we're just gonna run with them. I just trust
Mhm.
that they're gonna be who they need to be, and they're gonna
Mhm.
win. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I have a touch for everybody. I have Dion, I have Brian, I have Angel. You know what I mean? I have a squad that should hold up against anybody at any point in time. Gordon Beckham, Tom, John,
Mhm.
sliding everybody in there somewhere. So
You definitely had the most versatile picks.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I
got
thought
Kyle in there somewhere.
I
Kyle
think
and Al.
versatility might win the popularity vote. But I want to run through my team: Chipper Jones, Matt Ryan, Ronald Acuna Jr., Trey Young, Michael Vick, Brian McCann, Joseph Martinez. So hopefully there's some soccer fans out there. Ozzy Albies, Paul Millsap, in my opinion, most underrated power forward during the 2010s.
100%.
And then Calvin Johnson, Georgia Tech legend, to throw in there for our final picks. But Jack, Jay, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this. Any big projects coming up for the both of you guys?
Oof. You can go first.
I'm like I said, be on the lookout for what I'm going to be posting on Instagram, on my page, the Smile Zone page, and also the new TikTok that I'll be starting. Also, I'll be posting on my X a little bit more with this new adventure that I'll be going on. So a lot of surprises. Just letting everybody know it'll be starting on May 30th. Will be the official day that I'll be starting it, and it'll be a fun little project. And I'll be going to help a lot of people bring a lot of happiness and joy in baseball to a lot of places. So be on the lookout for that. And that's the biggest thing besides the Smile Zone. Like I said, everybody keep checking out the Smile Zone, making sure if you're a baseball player, join the community, be part of it, be part of something that's going to grow into something that's going to be so positive and simply wonderful for parents, players, and coaches, where people can come on and have a group of people that's just going to be happy and want the best for them at all times. So make sure you're listening to us, coming on, joining us, and building the community to be the greatest that it can be. It's a Smile Zone.
Love it. And just for me, more freelance work, a ton of stuff. We're going back to Banana Ball this year. We're going back to Trenton this year. We got some play-by-play stuff going around the Philadelphia area. Pod's still going strong. We got an episode with Batboy Shelley dropping tomorrow. I know you had him on last week, and he mentioned a lot about you off air, but he mentioned a lot about that show off air, so it was very good to hear. But just a bunch of freelance stuff like last year from me. Tune into the Playoff Push podcast if you haven't yet. That's it for me.
And for me, I will be at Fanatics Fest in Kennesaw, Georgia tomorrow, doing some content out there, getting to meet Chipper Jones, Jalen Johnson, and Justice Haynes, Georgia Tech running back, driving up there with yeah, one of the Dinger Dudes guys, Stephen Lambert, going up there with him on Friday or Saturday, I forgot which day. And then interview with Kirkland Banks, an Indianapolis Clowns banana ball player, coming up soon. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for taking time out of your day to join. Stay tuned for more videos from me, Jack Dobbins, Smile Zone, and I hope y'all have an amazing day.